What is up?
We're back. New day, new time.
I'm going to turn on some lo-fi music. Is this one of our royalty-free tracks? You want to have any copyright issues? Yeah, this one's okay to use. All right, so we are back. I have no idea what we're doing. We need to figure that out real quick.
That's the story of my life.
Like always, we will go to our source of truth. Let me share my screen and let's pull up Crisp. I think will be the last place that we have this, and let's look for Charlie. August 11th. Would that have been the last one? Has it been that long?
I don't think it's been that long, has it?
It might have been. Let's see. Because we've met since then, but it here we go. August 18th at least. There's a newer one then. I think that might be the last one. All right, let's see. Probably this one, but let's see. Here, let's do this. And let's pull up Claude. All right, that's the question. What do we cover, and then what are our intended next steps? And that lets us know. You and Zach covered. I am Zach. Session, system architecture, 5-step, top 40 realtor tracker deep dive. Create the top 40 realtor tracker document. Develop webinar bonus materials. Continue webinar development. Update that. Didn't we already do that? I feel like we already did that. Let's double check. Is this actually our most recent? And then I'll go and...
I feel like what was next was emails and like registration.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's look in here and see what we have. Archive, referrals while you sleep, webinar content. Okay, here's what we got. So we got bonus documentation. The 6-question interview framework. We got that. We got a systems doc. We got a core teaching. We got detailed hook. We got your core offer. Yeah, and we got webinar. Have you had a chance to review this? Did we review this last time? Do you know?
No, that might be where we left off. Like we built all the slides and that was it.
Okay, so this is kind of the next step of the process then is to review the slides and make sure does it feel right? Does it feel off? That sort of idea. Let's do this. I'm gonna throw this one into HackMD. And then that way we could collaborate on it. And I'm actually going to throw you. Well, it's up to you. Do you? I mean, typically it works well for you to talk and for me to just make changes. But I think what I want. Do you want to have a document up that you can make changes in, or do you just want to read what's on my screen and then tell me the changes that you'd like to see?
I can do it either way. I'm all yours.
I mean, because there's no right answer to this. Which one feels better to you?
I could probably pull it up and like talk it out while I'm
Say that again. Pull it up and what?
Did you say the option is either talk it out or like me pull it up in a document and edit it?
Correct.
So those are two, probably be me, like pull it up and edit it.
Okay, perfect. So let me get you this HackMD link. Oh wait, I got it. It doesn't automatically copy the URL, so let me do this. I'll end up resyncing this back down. This is just an easier way for us to collaborate. All right. Invite you, and what's the best email?
Charlie at More Green Homes would work.
It's .com, right?
Yeah.
There we go. I think this one's you. I think Solid Charlie's you. And I'm going to give you actually, I'm going to give you admin access. I'm going to copy the share link. You might need to sign in order to be able to edit this. And then once you're in there, we should be able to collaborate on the same document. And we could do potentially a combination of both. So we could talk through what's on there, and you could voice the changes that you want and either type them out or just talk about. Let's see what flows best.
All right. Let's see.
So while you're doing that, what we're going to be going through is just kind of going through the slides to make sure that they feel right, that they feel like you, that they feel like they're saying the right things. I mean, we generate this with AI. It's based off of a lot of context, but sometimes it leans into an idea too much. It maybe follows the template too much rather than kind of leaning in the direction of what you actually like what your emphasis was. And so we'll be able to detect that in here. And the reason why we want to get it right here is because this is actually what we end up building everything else off of, right? So yeah. We want to make sure this is good so that when we build the landing page, when we build the promotion sequences, all of that, we want to make sure that it, that we're not dealing with garbage in, garbage out, that we're giving it something that we're like, yeah, I sign off on this. This feels right. Right. Now, this isn't important for sake of, it doesn't have to be exactly what you present. That's not necessarily the important part right here. Because we would have time for you to modify this to present differently. Kind of the core truth here is we definitely don't want it to say anything that you're like, nah, I don't like that, or that's wrong, or that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel like me. That's really what we're looking for here. Now, it's perfectly fine if you're like, let me put myself in the mode of what would I actually teach in order to make those corrections, but don't feel like you have to get this perfect for teaching as much as knowing the way that AI works and that we want it to be right so that we don't generate off of something weird. That's kind of what we're fixing here. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense.
And I was mostly just talking there to kind of fill time while you were getting in there. I do see that you are in there. Go ahead. Why don't you start from the top and let's start looking at it.
All right. So the easiest way to get conversations with realtors where they're actually excited to talk to you without chasing them for coffee meetings or experiencing constant rejection. The exact system I personally use to build 250,000 plus in real estate income, working less than 10 hours per week. And how you can use the same approach to get realtors genuinely excited to talk with you. Today, we're going to discover what you're going to learn in this presentation. Bless you. While the traditional coffee meeting approach pushes realtors away, the 4 proven methods to identify and reach abundance-minded realtors who want to work with you, the interview positioning strategy that makes realtors thank you for the opportunity, my 6-question framework that creates authentic connections in 15 minutes, how to turn these conversations into ongoing partnerships that generate consistent referrals. All that seems right.
Perfect.
Why getting easy conversations with realtors is critical. Traditional approaches create adversarial dynamics where realtors see you as just another loan officer in your business. Quality realtors are overwhelmed with dozens of similar let's requests and sales pitches every month. Your current realtor relationships are vulnerable to competitors using the same old products. Time is your most valuable asset. Waste on awkward conversations that don't build real relationships. So the only thing here is, it's not true that realtors are probably right now getting dozens of similar lunch requests every month. I mean, it's been a while since, well, of course I'm doing less business, but I'd say, what realtors do get pitches. I don't know if it's every month. I don't know if that matters.
Right.
The reason I mentioned that is a lot of coaches will say, people think there's tons of lenders reaching out, but there's really not that many. It could just, like, we could just take out with dozens. We just say quality realtors are overwhelmed with similar lunch requests and sales pitches every month. That's true.
Which do you think is more powerful, removing dozens or removing every month?
With dozens of similar lunch requests and sales pitches. Yeah, I think just removing every month.
Perfect.
Good call. This is for you. You're already doing 2 to 3 deals per month consistently, no goose egg months. You're tired of chasing realtors and feeling like you're bothering busy professionals. You want to build genuine partnerships rather than transactional vendor relationships. You're ready to invest 30 minutes per day in relationship building that creates long-term value. This is not for you if you're a new loan officer still learning how to process loans and close deals. You're looking for quick fixes or immediate results without relationship investment. You prefer competing on rates and speed rather than relationship value. You're planning to retire in the next few years and don't want long-term partnerships. Yep, that's all right. 13-year, bit about Charlie, 13 years running a successful marketing company, doing $125 an hour back in 2010. 13 years in real estate, but #1 office team generating over $150 annually. 10 plus years of mastermind, top 100 realtors and lenders nationwide. Only realtor who systematically helps loan officers build relationships with realtors. It's true. Clear results from someone who's succeeded in marketing, real estate, and understands both sides of the lender-realtor relationship. A bit more about my journey. Started real estate with zero success despite marketing expertise. Made only 18.6 the first year. Discovered that chasing strangers, leads versus working with people who know you are completely different businesses. Lost $100,000 trying to scale through lead generation. Nearly destroyed marriage and health. Found the relationship-based approach that now generates $250K annually, working less than 10 hours per week. Created referrals while you sleep to help other professionals avoid expensive mistakes. The system works because I've experienced both the painful way, wrong way, and the effortless right way. I mean, that's true. My promise to you, I will teach you as much as I can in the limited time we have together. And before I conclude, I promise to show you how to get more help if you need it. Free bonuses. When you stick around until the end, I'll tell you how you can get 2 valuable implementation tools. Bonus #1, the 6-question interview framework, complete scripts with follow-ups, and conversation flow management that make every realtor conversation valuable. Top 40 realtor tracker system, systematic approach to identifying and nurturing your most important realtor relationships, so you have peace of mind knowing exactly who to focus on. The current system most loan officers use. Let's examine how most loan officers try to build realtor relationships. Cold calling from production lists with sales-focused scripts, reaching, requesting lunch meetings to discuss how I can help your business, attending networking events, trying to collect business cards, sending marketing material complaining, sending marketing materials explaining their services, following up persistently until realtors respond or tell them to stop. Yep, that's right. Why the current system fails. Current approach doesn't work because it creates immediate adversarial dynamic. Realtor knows you want their business from the first contact. It generates high rejection rates. Realtors receive dozens of identical approaches. You might want to remove monthly there. Realtors, or what would be a better way to say that? Realtors have received dozens of identical approaches.
Why the current creates immediate adversarial, generates higher identical approaches. Something like that.
Yeah. Waste time for both parties, awkward conversations that don't build genuine relationships, positions you as a vendor. I'd say a commodity. So some people say vendor, some people say commodity. I don't know whether it'd be better to say commodity vendor, just say both.
I like that.
Rather than valuable strategic partner. Focus competition on transactional factors, rate, speed, rather than relationship value. That seems right. The fundamental problem. What if instead of asking realtors for something, their business, you could offer them something genuinely valuable that they actually want? What if you could position conversations and opportunities realtors are excited about rather than sales calls they avoid? That sounds amazing. I have a theory about how we can fix the broken realtor outreach system. Why don't you check it out with me and see if you agree. The complete loan officer realtor partnership system. 1, select the right realtors. Target realtors with the right opportunity and mindset. 2, get the first conversation. Break through to busy realtors and secure initial meetings. 3, get the next 6 conversations. Convert initial interest into 90-day trial partnership. Maintain the relationship. Ongoing partnership, management, and value delivery. Rinse and repeat to build freedom. Scale and to create a realtor waiting list. That looks right. Strategic realtor selection and first conversation over. Today we'll dive deep into steps 1 and 2 because they're the foundation steps to determine whether everything else works. 1, select the right realtors. 4 proven selection methods to identify quality partners. Why targeting matters more than your outreach skills. Step 2, get the first conversation. Value first positioning that makes realtors excited to talk. The 6-question framework for 15-minute conversations that build real relationships. Method 1, production-based lists. The problem, most loan officers either target realtors who are too small or too big. Inconsistent business or already have established systems and teams. Why it's important, 6 to 15 sweet deal spots gives you realtors who have consistent business but are still accessible and looking to grow. How to solve it. Use professional lists like MMI to research agents doing 6 to 15 buyer side deals annually. Look up top reviewed realtors in your area and check production databases. Your next step, research 10 to 20 target realtors in this production range and prepare your positioning script. Hey, I've got a show where I'm interviewing real estate agents. Your name came up. Would you be interested to be interviewed as an expert here in the next couple of weeks?
How's that looking?
That looks good. Method 2, coolest realtor strategy. The problem, cold outreach feels pushy, creates resistance, even with quality realtors. Why it's important, like-minded people recommend people of similar quality people. And recommendations tend to go up in terms of professionalism and expertise. How to solve it. Ask your current top 4 to 5 realtor partners, who's the coolest in your office? And call that recommended agent. I was just talking about my buddy. Wait, what just happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, then call the recommended agent. I was just talking to my buddy, and he said you're the coolest person he knows in the office. Your next step, identify your best current realtor relationships and get a 3-way text introductions for people they respect most. Method 4.
When, just that you know, when you would deliver this,
yeah,
like you'd say, and then you flow back into this script, right? So this isn't the complete script, but it's like it's the relevant portion for how you tee up that conversation.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Wait, we're missing method 3.
Are we? Oh,
let's
yeah.
do 4. Yeah, here. Let's fix that real quick. Do we have all 4 in here? Yeah, we do. All right. All right, we'll get that added real quick.
You're adding that now?
Yep. There it goes. There you go. It's in there.
Perfect. Method 3, the sphere of influence referrals. The problem, you have valuable relationships in your sphere, but may not be leveraging them for realtor connections, missing warm introduction opportunities. Why it's important, your sphere already knows and trusts you, making their referrals carry immediate credibility. Plus, it gives you a legitimate reason to reconnect with important people. How to solve it, call your favorite 10 to 15 people in your sphere, past clients, friends, family, and ask, hey, I love helping out. I've interviewed, and that doesn't make sense.
That reads weird, yeah.
And say, I've got a show where I'm interviewing top real estate agents. Who's a realtor you know and look up to?
Do you love this? I love helping out.
No.
Yeah, it feels weird to me. Something like that.
Yeah. Maybe something like, it'd be good to like run these through the magic word, NLP magic words, and kind of see how to specifically, but say, like, hey, I was thinking of you and I could use your help. Something like that. Your next step, create a list of your top sphere. Create a list of your top sphere contacts and start making calls this week. Create a list of your favorite sphere of influential. Create a list of your favorite and most influential contacts and start making calls this week.
Influential contacts or sphere contacts?
Create a list of your favorite, most influential contacts.
Perfect.
Maybe the how to solve it. Maybe the script should be like, "Hey, I was just thinking of you, and would you be interested in a 3-way text?" That's what I would do. And when you get a referral, ask for a 3-way connection. Can you send a 3-way text between us? That's my favorite way to get connected. When you complete the interview, share the content back with the person who referred them. This strengthens your sphere relationships while building new realtor connections. I like that.
Here, I got some updates for the scripts. Go back up and look through what we got.
Where do I need to start?
Just scroll back up to the methods and look at the scripts in there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Your next step. Hey, I've got a show where I'm interviewing real estate agents. Your name came up. Would you be interested to be interviewed as an expert for the next couple of weeks? Hey, name, I've got a show where I interview top real estate agents as experts. Your name came up. Someone doing really well in the area. Would you be interested in being featured as an expert in the next couple of weeks? Who's the coolest realtor in your office? Oh, go ahead.
So the second one would be the updated one. Do you like it better than the first one? Does that make sense?
Gotcha. I like the first one better.
All right, perfect. And then for the second method.
Let's see. I was just talking to my friend, and he specifically mentioned you're the most respected person he knows in the office. I'd love the interviews of expert. Would you be interested? Versus, I was just talking to my buddy, and he said you're the coolest person he knows in the office. Yeah, I like the first one better.
That sounds good to me. And then method 3.
Hey, I was thinking of you and could use your help. The word could. Yeah. I've got a show where I interview top real estate agents. And I would put, and I'm curious, who's a realtor you know and look up to that I should interview? Otherwise, hey, name, I can really use your expertise. I'm interviewing top real estate professionals for a show I'm doing. And I know you've got good judgment about people. Who's a realtor you genuinely respect and think highly? You know, I like the second one there.
The second one's better there?
I think so, yeah.
Do you want to have the that I should interview? Or do you want to just leave it as that?
Good question. I don't know. What's your thought?
I mean, so in this is a good example of like we're giving them the right idea here. We're giving them the right idea in terms of the webinar. When you're actually like delivering this, you might riff on it a little bit. You know, like we're giving them the idea of like what sort of thing that they say, but it may be different in practice when they actually say it.
My favorite is actually to leave both and all of them.
Leave both and all of them? Oh, so I should stop deleting them?
Yeah. That way, just show like, I mean, I don't know. You've taught more would that be silly? Like, I mean, because kind of my idea is like, I mean, put this in your own words, right? But here's the idea. But some people probably want to be told exactly what to say.
I would just leave one, but I'd say put it in your own words, right? So whichever is your favorite, I would give one clear example, and then say like, make this your own. Don't like the words here aren't magic. I'm just trying to give you the idea. There's some thought into this, but you say it in the way that feels natural to you, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'd probably just keep one. So for the method 3, you like the second one?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. And then it tried to change the Facebook invite one, but it made it worse.
Right.
I could throw it in there if you want me to, but I was just like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend this one.
So I would just change this. If you know a realtor I should interview, please put their info below. Perfect. All right. The psychology behind why this works. Here's the fundamental shift that makes realtors excited to talk to you. Traditional approach. Can we meet for coffee to discuss how I can help your business? You're asking for something. Interview approach. I'd like to interview you as an expert, and I'll give you the content to share with your sphere of influence. You're offering something valuable. This completely flips the dynamic from vendor client to valuable resource expert. One thing, I don't know if it's clear to put but like, I'm going to share it with my sphere of influence and give it to you as well. I don't know if that's helpful or not.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, I'd like to interview as an expert. I'll share it with my sphere and audience, and I'll give you the content to share with your sphere as well.
Yeah.
Where are you right now?
All right, there. This completely flips the dynamic from vendor client to valuable resource expert. What realtors actually want, the hidden desire every realtor wants to be seen as a trusted expert by their sphere of influence, not as a stereotypical pushy salesperson. The content problem, most realtors struggle with consistent content creation for their marketing. Authority gap, they know they should be positioning themselves as experts but don't have the time or systems to create professional content. The opportunity, you solve all 3 problems by offering professional interview content that positions them as the expert authority in their market. Every realtor wants to be seen as a trusted expert. I would say as the trusted expert of their sphere of influence. Should we put every realtor wants big, easy, consistent checks and free time? And the best way for that to happen is to be seen. I feel like that's too wordy. That's almost too deep. So
say it again. Big, easy checks.
Big, easy, consistent checks and free time.
Big, easy. I kind of like being specific on it because you're like you're clear on that, right? Like you're clear.
Right.
That's really what they want. And I think the more that you're clear about that, it's like everyone wants that. Most or many of them realize that that getting content out will help them to be seen this way, right?
Right. Yeah. And even if they don't realize it, it's true.
Right.
Like,
Right. I want to make a note real quick. I don't think we've dealt with this in here. You have gotten feedback from people that like they've tried this before, right?
Yeah.
Like that in their mind they think that. So we will want to deal with that. We'll want to deal with like, here's why this is different than what you've tried before, right? And I don't think that's in here. So we'll want to cover that. Actually, do you want to speak to that real quick, just so that we get that in the transcript?
Yes. Before I do that, though, I think we need to do the hidden desire. Every realtor wants big, easy, consistent checks and more free time, and then drop down to the content problem and say, to get what they want, they need to be seen as a trusted expert by their sphere of influence, not a stereotypical pushy salesperson. But most realtors struggle with consistent content creation that sets them that way. I almost feel like
That makes
could
sense.
be made simpler, but that's true. Yeah, so people have said they've done this before. There's okay. If I come, yes. I'm playing on it.
We've got feedback from the peanut gallery.
So people have said they've tried this before. What did not work was, one, it took them, like, they spent $30,000 on a studio and didn't have, and just like wasted money. Like, that's not needed. Or
they thought flashy tech and video production is what's going to make this useful or valuable, and no, that's not what makes a difference. What else?
They to go along with that, they had this place they had to go with, like, that took a long time to set up the perfect audience, and they were trying to invite people in, and like it took longer than a golf outing. Like,
right,
for like a 30-minute thing.
So trying to do it in person rather than digitally has drastically more downsides than upsides, right? Because you want it to be something that somebody literally could be like, they've got a spare 15 minutes between when they're showing houses, and they still feel like they could do it, right? Like that makes this reliable and doable. And honestly, same thing for the lenders a bit too. Maybe less so. Maybe they're less out, but being able to do it consistently, fitting it into your schedule, making it easier rather than perfect is going to be better, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing with the lender, what's cool, the lender said, I had this all set up and the person didn't show. What's cool is when it's in your office, if they don't show up, you just keep doing what you're doing.
Right. Right.
The other problem is when you try to do it in person, or if you try to do digitally, they tried to like do all these Mr. Beast type edits, like they spent all this money or time editing. I mean, I was talking to one person, they would spend 8 hours per episode editing.
Jeez.
Yeah. Then what else? Then they would post it on a podcast, and it'd get 4 views. And as you can imagine, that's pretty demotivating. So, it was not, it didn't get any distribution. I mean, that's the reason people quit creating content, is there's no distribution, which we've solved.
Right.
And then the last is they would do this very wide. they would do one show with 1,000 different realtors or however many. And they said, one, it was just really boring. It was the same conversation over and over and over. And of course, like, yes, the first conversation is the hardest first hurdle, but you don't get deals from the first conversation. The next 6 conversations are like the next hardest. And then maintaining the relationship. You know, you got to have all 3 pieces. And when you go wide, you actually hurt number 2 and number 3 because you're so busy with new people that you can't develop the relationship or maintain the other relationships. So it was time, expense, ineffective distribution. And then the last would be, you know, they offered this for the realtors, and of course the realtors are never going to post it. Like, that's not personal. And so it was only minimally effective for the realtors. Like, even if you got, which I don't know of anyone that's actually done this. Like, it's very rare that someone's done this consistent with a small group of realtors. But if they did, like, you've got to have some way to make sure that there's distribution that creates actual results. And so whether it's yours or theirs, and then at the end of the day, if you can give them big, easy, consistent checks, they'll be happy.
That makes sense. So yeah, so what I'm hearing from you is, you know, they overcomplicate the tech and setup. That makes it more expensive than it needs to. They set themselves up for failure by having too much risk involved, by making it expensive and more of a burden than it needs to be. So it needs to be, you know, the system that we set up, we need it to be cheap, because for one thing, making it expensive doesn't make a difference. 2, we need it to be easy on them and easy on you, right? So trying to get them in person rather than digital. Digital is drastically better for all the reasons that you mentioned. I'm going to make it easy on you. This doesn't need to be a high production sort of thing, because really the content is the thing that matters. Knowing what content matters is what's going to make this stand out. And then finally, you need it to actually get viewership to the right people, right? And so you tell me a little bit more about, like, for when somebody's just getting started in doing this, what do you recommend when somebody's building the realtor waiting list concept? What do you recommend? Obviously at a minimum, it's going to go out to the lender's audience. How do you set it up to potentially get in front of their audience, or what do you do for that?
Yeah. Like, you want me to, like, talk about the specifics that I do referrals while you sleep?
Yep.
Like the system. Yeah. So you want it to be everyone that is in your warm audience. So you want to export all of your database people. You want to export your phone contacts, your email contacts. If you've got a team, you'd like to do that with them as well. If you're married or have a spouse, like, I recommend you get their contacts. Like, basically everyone that potentially passes the grocery store test.
Let me zero you in real quick on more what I'm looking for. So that's the full system, and that's what the lender's going to do, right? So it's all the warm audience for them, right? So the simple way is they're going to get it when I do this video with the realtor, I'm going to get it in front of my audience, right? Like, I'm a lender, I'm going to get it in front of my audience, and I'm going to guarantee that. What for them, like, I get, say I'm the lender, you're the realtor, I'm bringing you on. So yeah, your content is going to go out to my audience for that first conversation. Definitely. What am I going to do so that you get the result you're looking for? Does that make sense? Is my audience enough?
No. Say it another way. I'm sorry that I'm being slow.
No, you're fine. So I'm the lender. You're the realtor, right? Or actually, let's that might make it harder. Say I'm bringing on a realtor. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me what I'm gonna tell that realtor, or what I'm gonna do to help them be successful, right? So obviously we're gonna do the content, and yeah, it's gonna go out to my audience.
Yeah.
Right. And that's going to be the warm audience with our contact list, my contacts, my wife, my cousin, maybe not my cousin, but it's going to be everybody. Right. But for them to be successful, do I also need it to go out to their list?
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So as a lender, I tell them, hey, I'm going to take this content. I'm going to put it in front of my sphere. I'm going to give you the content. You should put it in front of your sphere. For the best results, like I would never do this all myself. I'm going to give you a coupon where you can have my team that does it for me, that's RESPA compliant, actually like post it all for you. So you get to fully experience so that's how you get the best results.
Perfect. And that's where you've set up like a dashboard or a landing page for their content that they share with the person, and it also sort of gets them access to the content, and it lets them kickstart their 90-day trial with referrals while you sleep, right?
Right. Exactly.
And so for sake of the teaching principle is, the reason why it's failed before is because it was too hard, too expensive, and too hard in multiple ways, right? But also, you didn't actually get them the result that they need. So to get them the result that they need, it needs to get out in front of their audience, and you need to make that easy for them too, right? Yeah. And so now to make that easy, that's where referrals while you sleep comes in. Otherwise, yes, you're going to have a lot of work to either, help them build out an audience and run ads, and that's going to be a pain in the butt. But when you leverage referrals while you sleep, that makes it easy, right? So that's part of it here. So, but the teaching principle is, here's the ideal. You got to make it easy for them to get it in front of their audience, right? And in this webinar, you might even say that's beyond the scope of me teaching you how to do in this webinar, but I will show you how to get help with that if you want help with that.
Nice.
So that's probably how I'd do it in the webinar itself, if that makes sense. But that way you're teaching them the principle. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's almost like, if they could just have their whole realtor partnership equation, how do I help them get big, easy, consistent checks in free time? Like if they can just wrap their head around it,
right?
Like that, and we know, that comes from being top of mind for people that are compliant clients.
Right. All right, let's continue on. I'm gonna pull the screen back up.
Do you have another call you have to go to? Do you have to leave?
I do, but let me see where we are, and yeah. So I think, for sake of the transcript itself, I would probably throw the discussion that we just had and create slides, probably in between this and the 6-question interview framework, right? And here's part of how I would, so what realtors actually want and why abundance-minded realtors love this. I'd throw it in between there because that's the point where I would imagine people might have some resistance, right? Where I've tried this before. It's I around then might be you may be thinking you've tried this before. Let me tell you, of the people who I've seen who've done something like this, here's the reasons why it fails, right? And then I'd go through the conversation that we just had and say, okay, so now that you know how to actually do it right, here's what it actually looks like to do the interview itself in the way that works well. You flow through the 6-question interview framework. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the system different? Value creation versus value. Yeah. I think most of the rest of that feels like it's probably right, where we're actually teaching them, we're teaching them how to have that first conversation, and like what that looks like. It's possible that we could flesh out a little bit more of like the option 1, option 2, like, because one of the keys that I would want to throw in here is like, here's the problem that you're going to run into in trying to implement this, right? Is doing this. So like, that's why I made Referrals While You Sleep, right? It's to solve this problem, to make this part easy so that you could do this process easy. Yeah. Anyway, so that's probably part of what I would massage. But yeah, I do have to get going. But next time we can continue from here. What we need to accomplish is we need to get like those objections into the slides and get them dealt with. And then we need to then we just need to continue through that section. Make sure that the why abundance-minded realtors, all of that is the wording that you would want it to be.
Cool.
That makes sense?
That makes sense. I like it.
And so that it's in the transcript right now. This thing that we're working on is in HackMD. Although I'm gonna get it back into here. There we go. All right, that way it's synced back. It's synced back to wait. No, I did the wrong one. A second. I want the actual webinar itself. There we go. That should be right now. Okay, that way it's synced back into the files that you have access to as well. I mean, you have access to this too, but that way when we go and look at the slides, it's connected to the same HackMD and they're in sync. That's more of what I was looking for. So, oh, you know what I could have done? I could have just done a poll. I could actually pull from HackMD to update that note too. So nice. I could have done that. But anyway. Okay, cool. How are you feeling about the process? How's that feel going through that? What do you think about that step?
I think it's great. You know, it's those small little details to make sure that it's solid, you know.
Right.
It you know, like, I mean, it can just keep blossoming. I mean, this is, you know, you've got a book from doing this, and I'll get a book too.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really does. It creates enough of a structure and a process that it really clarifies things. Like ultimately, I think that's part of the magic of this is, you know, I shared a graphic with you earlier that was confusing, but one of the things that was in there is that like your core system is really what informs everything else. And part of what we're doing is we're just really clarifying like what is your core system. And then when you really know your core system, you could teach subsets of it. You could teach portions of it. You could flow somebody through it at a level that makes sense for a webinar, that makes sense for a course, that makes sense on a call, that makes sense live one-to-one. You were describing before we actually went live that you're actually, you know, working with a client and flowing through some of just literally what we've developed in here, because you're like, yeah, we did the work to think through what this process fully looks like. And I don't know about you, but for me, when I've done that process of actually getting it documented and out of my head, it makes those conversations so much easier too, because it gives me that checklist where it's like, what do we need to do next? Oh, I need to get the who documentation, right? And the who documentation needs to cover these things. I need to get the core teaching. I need to get like even in doing this, one of the things that like part of what makes me a little bit scared about actually trying to release this as a book, because I already have things that I'm like, there's a few things in this process that I kind of want to improve already, that I'm like, I don't have a specific thing in developing out the core teachings to think through what are the typical objections, what are the typical hurdles, what are the typical problems, and why is this different, right? But like in one of the other trainings that you're going through, they address that in one of the slides, and I'm like, oh, that's something that I've missed, right? That will make this better, and that I need to cover in my templates and in my stuff, right? It's part of why I just had the clarity of like, that's something missing in these slides that I know we need to deal with. So anyway.
Yeah,
but,
it reminds me though, just on that, Dan Sullivan, he releases a new book every quarter. Right. And one time it came up, like, what happens if people steal your stuff? He says, I don't care. Like, my stuff, like, I'm always pushing the envelope. And so the fact that like launch what we've got now. And know it's going to keep getting better. But we've got to get paid. We got to launch it and get paid now, or we aren't going to be able to keep improving it.
Right. Exactly. And really, I mean, the people who are in most alignment with it, they pay to keep staying up to date. They pay to stay in the community. They pay to keep getting the consulting. They pay for the updated versions and whatnot. Right. Like, I think there's a reality that, you shouldn't. It doesn't make sense to expect that you buy something once and get all the future improvements forever, right? When I buy a car today, I don't expect that it's going to have all the features of the one that they released 5 years from now, right? Like I expect that I'll have to buy that if I want those features. And I think that's part of the reality. So, but that being said, I think like I'll probably end up having a book to re-release and all of that. So it'll like already I'm like, this thing's almost ready to publish, and I'm already like, there's actually some more stuff that I kind of want to change about this. So anyway, but yeah, well, cool. So yeah, so next time we'll continue through the slides. Once those are dialed, we'll be able to execute on a number of things. There's dialing in the styles for the slides themselves. That we can throw into Gamma so that you have that available for this webinar and future webinars. There's the email, the promotion system, what I call the ignition array of the landing pages and the email sequences and all of that in order to actually promote it. So we'll be able to develop it all out. On our next call, we'll go through and we'll continue dialing in the content itself so that we're generating off of something powerful and quality and really more than anything in your voice and what you actually want to teach. We can always refine the wording of what you teach, but we want to at least make sure that it's not wrong. That's first and foremost the most important thing. So that's what we'll do on the next one. And I think that covers it for today. Any final words before we hop?
I'm glad we did this. It's amazing watching it all come together. And enjoy your service work. We'll chat soon. We got a 1-to-1 in. Awesome,
indeed. All right, we'll talk later. Today we just got some ship done. We'll get some more ship done next time. All right.